Hi there, welcome to today's episode of our Health and Wellness Expo. Today we have Shona McKenzie, is that correct?
Yep.
Yep, our resident naturopath in the local Cambridge area. Shona and I have met through the Venus Network, and she does some amazing work with some lovely people that I know. So welcome, Shona. It's lovely to have you online with us.
Hello, good to be here. Lovely day.
It is. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? Absolutely beautiful day out there. Do you want to tell us a bit about yourself? I know quite a lot about you, but there's people watching this that don't really know too much. So, what's your sort of little journey in life that's got you to becoming qualified as a naturopath and doing all the things that you're passionate about?
Well, I graduated in 2015 from South Pacific College of Natural Medicine, which is up in Auckland and Ellerslie. I've been practicing since then. I started my own business in 2016. So I come from a background of graphic design. So for 20 years I did graphic design here, Auckland, and in London, where I lived for 6 years, where I met my husband. Came back in 2010 and knew that I wanted to do something different due to just my own health things that had happened over the years. So I just kind of realized that I wanted to know more about what was happening in my own with my own health. And so like some of the things in my past would have been things like that, which kind of were big and have drawn me to this place now. I've obviously wanted to know more about natural health. So I've had a broken nose. I've choked on a chicken bone. I've had chronic sciatica, which is ongoing sometimes. I've had herniated back disc. I couldn't get pregnant. I've never been able to have children. I've had debilitating digestive pain, which is what I had a lot of when I lived in London, which was one of the big things that made me go, oh, what's going on with me? I've had lots of night sweats. Nothing to do with menopause, just night sweats. I've had been hospitalised for vomiting blood. I've had depression and anxiety. That's of recent, just due to circumstances in life. And I've had boils. I've been bitten by a spider. There's lots of things I think as I think of my life that I kind of go, oh, I should probably be in health. I have a lot to put towards when I sit with people to kind of go, I understand where you've been with things. And so mostly I love digestive and women's health. So that's been my journey now since come out of college. And I'll take pretty much most cases because a lot of stuff comes from digestive health and goes from there. But in general, if I get a women's health or specific digestive, then I really love that. So,
It's amazing. It's amazing how things in your own life result. You know, when you look back and you're just like, you know, you find you're looking for solutions for yourself, and you're going down those rabbit holes trying to find the answers to why is this happening, and then it just seems natural to learn more and then share, doesn't it? So
it does. So that's kind of pretty much the journey since then. So prior to that was graphic design. So that's my background on which has been a great thing to have with my business now, because I use that and I don't outsource a lot of stuff. I just tend to do, I've done my website, I've done all my resources and things like that I use for clients is all done by me because of that marketing background. So always more to learn. But I specifically when I lived in London, I learned a lot about marketing at that level, due to some of the big design houses that I worked in. So there's always lots that you can draw from in the years of your experience. But now it's all health, and we'll go with that.
That's really cool. Sometimes you go, how do you get from graphic designer to naturopath? But the leap's not so big once you understand the other things that have been going on in your life. So people do similar with me, going town planner to wellness advocate. Where is the bridge? So it's exactly the same. Once you understand a little bit more about the person and what has driven them to learn what they've learnt, and have that passion to share, then the leap's not quite so big. So you're as a naturopath, you'd treat people one-on-one in the same room 90% of the time, I well imagine, if not 100% of the time. and that's all fine, except for when you're told to stay home. So what's this sort of done to your business in terms of how you're operating or not operating?
Well, leading into it, I was thinking all would be fine, because a lot of the time I mean, an initial consult I would always see with people and follow-ups, but there are a lot of times I actually do follow-ups over the phone anyway, or by email, just to help people out with time. So I think leading into what we thought wouldn't be or might be a shutdown, I was thinking, oh yeah, it would just continue as always. And then I get a lot of my products sent to me via the suppliers, and then I dispatch them to my clients in ways that they can just pick up themselves. So I don't have a lot of contact with that. It's just that they go and they can pick up. But in saying that, as we went into level 4, everything changed, and a lot of my suppliers were called out. My whole industry was called out, actually, but blindsided by it all, because I think we thought we would be essential. And it's been quite frustrating, and a real highlight for us as an industry to go, we need to fix this, because it all went pear-shaped on us. We're a bit annoyed is not the right term, but I guess being frustrated that our products like vitamin C and all the things that for a long time medical side of things has not considered important or actually of any help to health, are now sold in pharmacies, and they're all open, but they don't have that learning. Just like nurses have to be trained, I have to be trained. I've done a 3-year degree. I had to learn pharmacology. I had to learn what my herbs using alongside of any medications, how they'd be impacted on people, and what not to do and what you can do. I had to learn biochemistry. I had to learn anatomy and physiology, pathophysiology, how disease is happening in the body. I had to learn nutrition. I had to learn, and I had to do a whole full year of working with clients. And then alongside of that, obviously, I learned all about my plants, which we use as herbs. To help people, whether they be in supplements or whether they be in tinctures, liquid forms. So with this whole thing changing, it is frustrating to know that it's great that people can still get them. I'm not saying that's, but in another way, we're often put down as an industry as either quackery, or we use snake oil or things like that. But when push comes to shove, our vitamin C is still out there. And a lot of people realise what the benefits of certain things are. And so it would be nice to be appreciated by the government for what our knowledge is and what we have actually trained to be. And there are a lot of people out there, obviously, that aren't trained and are giving our industry a bad name. But there's also in naturopaths and medical herbalists, and that's the field I'm meaning. A lot of people call themselves naturopaths and they're not. But just like, I wish that we could be appreciated a bit more. So to answer your question, I guess in that sense, our suppliers have stopped. For me, it means that I can't even get things to my front door to be able to supply to my clients. So last week was a real rush to get everything or anything I could in a very fast time, knowing it was coming, and they were overloaded at their end, obviously, for every practitioner in the country trying to do the same thing. And so I think I got there for a month, so I'm hoping it's not going to be a shutdown for longer than that, because then we'll see how that one looks like.
That's exactly right, isn't it? That's exactly right. Look, I find it really interesting too, because my own health journey, I got frustrated with the standard medical system. I began looking for more holistic approaches to understanding what was going on in my body. And like I owe my health now to a naturopath. So, and it's like, for me, working with a naturopath has taught me that I actually need to work on my wellness every single day, and that, looking after, regardless of whether you're well or unwell, you need to work on your wellness, and that keeps you above that wellness line, so that when things do happen, your body's in a better place to fight it. And it just seems like a no-brainer to me that that's an essential service. You essentially, you need to be able to, if people can't look after their wellness on the daily, if that's via support from a naturopath or otherwise, like, you're taking that away from people at a time when our wellness is the most important thing that we've got. So yeah, I'm a bit baffled. I must admit, I was a bit baffled when I realised that a lot of the naturopaths and natural health supporting practices around couldn't actually practice, not wanting to, but not being able to, because they can't get the resources that they need to then be able to support their staff, support their clients. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
and I think the medical system doesn't realise that. I mean, it's not the medical system actually. It's just this whole, they had to do something. Completely understand that. There is that aspect of not being in touch with people. I'm on that page. I'm not against that. I think it's just the bigger picture of seeing that I have cancer patients. I have people that are very sick. That they've come to me because the system has not worked for them, and by their own choice they want to work alongside of what they're doing with their doctors, and that's generally all it is about. It's just like that, things go hand in hand, and so to have one ripped away at a time, which is really, especially going into autumn winter, more of a really detrimental time when a lot of people actually just get colds and flus, and it's this time that would be really bumping up everything for people to kind of go, hey, monitor your health right now and what you're doing so that you can stay well for this period. But we've got a whole different level now, and so it was disappointing, but it is what it is. But I think for what I've seen with my on Facebook with my association, that we really want to step it up and kind of go, we don't want to get caught in this place again.
And that's really terrific to see, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that do use naturopaths and that holistic medicine, I suppose, it's protocols, but that take a more holistic approach to their health and wellness, that will, they will get behind you and support you, particularly now that they have seen that the government don't necessarily see you in the same light as we do. So but that's fantastic that your association is really getting behind you all, and really trying to make a difference and get things changed a little bit in that regard.
It's all for good. So I mean, I always see things that, like, if it goes bad, there's always reasons that are for good that will come from that, and I think this is one of those things. So we're all okay, we're all good, and it's surprised us. But even this morning, actually, I found that one of my suppliers, who is Australian based as well, has given notice that if someone wants to order something, they can be order it direct. So because I have I have that linked with them, I don't actually use a lot of their products, but if push comes to shove, if I need to, I will search their products and find the very things that I need to match what I would normally use with clients, and then that can get ordered directly to clients. So that just shows, though, that link that we have with Australia, because a lot of my products are Australian, and so that particular company is actually worldwide, and so their foundation is pretty strong and known, and so I think out of the first to come to be able to do such, to break out and go, actually we can do it this way for clients and people, then that's great. So I'm hoping that with that one coming through, there might be a few others that have been able to make their presence known, and then we might have a few more with time. So which is good, because I actually do a lot of my clients actually do order through my big suppliers direct themselves, because one of them has a website, and I put up on the website the practitioner products that I prescribe to my clients, but then they also have the whole range of what would be in, whether it be Health 2000 or a pharmacy, so then they can order direct and it gets delivered by courier. So, and this time it's kind of like there's no contact at all, really. It's just me kind of going, I'll arrange for you to have this logged into your account, and then you can call through any time and order it, and it will get delivered to you. So it's a start. That's good.
That's great. That's really great. And it's just working system, isn't it? It's just working with what you've got when you've got it, and finding a way through. So no, that's good. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So you're using this time, obviously less clients, less client consults. What do you do with your time?
What have I been doing with my time, you say? So I've just been tidying up really since the end of last week. So we have a few overflow of jobs that we're part of, follow-ups with clients. So I've been doing that, and a few just tapering off with that. And then what my plan is to do more blogs. It's blogging for health things is one of those things that I actually like to put a little bit of time into. And so having this time, I'm hoping that I will get quite a few done that will all be on back. So that times when I'm busy again, I'll go, oh, I wrote that one and I could use that and start posting and things like that. So that's one of the plans. I've also got obviously in my industry too, I have to complete a range of hours of webinars, seminars, whether they're going to conferences, all of those things, CPE points that I have to get. And so this is a great time for that too. So there I have a wealth of seminars to go over that I've long since ordered and then just not been able to do them yet. And so I'm like, oh, I'm going to do that. So, but, yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I've got some study to complete that allows me to then be practitioner for it's a smart DNA that I've wanted to long complete, but life has made things a bit busy, so that's on the agenda as well. So I'm hoping I will be very productive, but also have a rest too. It's good to have a rest, but it kind of get structures in place, always getting structures in place so that you work more efficiently and that you can be more of a help when things all kick back in again. In a more quicker way. So yeah.
So I think that's all fantastic. I think it's a great use of your time, and I'm kind of doing the same once I've got all of these interviews done. There's the rainy day list that's always ever increasing for me that I need to apply myself to, and I'm looking forward to getting a few of those things ticked off the list for myself even. In normal everyday life, there just doesn't ever seem to be enough time to do them. So this
it's not. This time I'd love to do that list. Never get to it. So
exactly. That's we call it the rainy day list, and it certainly hasn't rained for a while. So
no. And I'm loving that actually, because I love gardening. So I'm hoping that, it's quite nice that it falls on Easter, because we had some plans, and so we were actually going to go away. So it's quite nice that, in the sense of not being able to go away, that we'll get out in the garden. And I find that really therapeutic. Even like, which I haven't done in a long time, but even planting veggies, I've got a whole lot of seeds and things, and getting my garden going for winter. So it's blessings in many different ways, eh? So,
lots of different ways. I like that, and I do see it as a blessing. I think this time's a real gift. We're not. May we never have it again in our lifetime, but it's a real gift for us to just to take stock of where we're at and enjoy the little things, which is nice. So I'm definitely enjoying that. But I know there's a lot of people out there that this time may not feel like a gift, like it might feel like a real overwhelm and dis-ease in their bodies, and that there might be a lot of worry financially, emotionally, lots of stresses going on and things like that. Is there some things or tips or things that, from your knowledge in dealing with people with stress and all that kind of thing, and other health issues, that you would sort of offer as a sort of just a support that they could start thinking about, or maybe adjusting in their life to help them deal with this time a little bit better?
Yeah, definitely. Some of the big things are, like, when I think about, like, I'm all preventative health as best as possible. So, and I'm not an angel myself, but I know where I've come from. I'm not that person anymore. And I keep a tab on my health in a big way now. So even though I can fall off the wagon myself sometimes. So, but in general, like, things to do is to kind of have, bring into your life more raw foods, more herbal drinks, more, herbs and spices, cook things from scratch, drink a lot more water, take some of your supplements. And I think we'll talk more about this as well. Like, there's some great ones that are really worth having at this time of year. Have vegetable juices. A lot of people go, they can be quite daunting, but just starting somewhere. Like, one of the great ones that I've often always pushed, and it comes from a website called jasonvale.com. So when I lived in England and I wasn't very well, he was just getting going as a business, and he has an amazing documentary that's about 8 people 7 or 8 people that he takes to his retreat in Portugal, and they are people who with different health disorders, and to various reasons, whether the medical system have said can't help you, or that these people have chosen that they just want to do something different. And so it's like someone from who's just got hay fever and asthma to a man who has 52 medications a day. And so over the month, it's 28 days, he just juices with them, and obviously he has healthcare people on hand as they do this journey. But it's an amazing documentary to watch, and I often find that when I fall off the wagon, it's the first documentary I go back to go, I've got to reset. and so I'm not saying do 28 days of juicing, but what I'm saying is that if you're in a place of health and you've got this month, there's a lot to be seen with that documentary, and a real encouragement. And there's this really great clips at the end where a lot of people from all around the world, where he's videoed them, and they all go, thanks Jason Vale for super juicing me, and how it's changed their life. And so I highly recommend it. So it's free to watch on YouTube. It's about an hour and 20 minutes, and it's called Super Juice Me 28-Day Challenge by Jason Vale.
I will look for it, and if I can't find it, I'll grab it off you. But we'll put that link in the comments underneath this interview, actually, so then people can quickly jump into there and go and have a watch of that, because I'm intrigued.
It's great. It's absolutely great. I love anything to do with Jason Vale. He is, I call him the king of juicing. I'm sure there's someone that became a juicer before he did, but in the UK when I was living there, he kicked it all off, and he had great books that he put out, and you're back to like the simple things that you can do at home. Like if you have a juicer, just having ginger and a pinch of ginger, about 1 centimeter raw ginger with an apple, and you put it through your juicer and scull that. It's like a little shot. It's amazing to the body, because ginger is very detoxifying. So if you've got kind of toxins, or you're coming down with something, the moment ginger hits the body, it goes through the bloodstream. It's just very purifying. So very quickly you can be on the mend again. But if you were to do that as a preventative way, you would be just stopping anything from even hitting the body. So that's a great thing. So whether you like vegetable juices or not, just doing and incorporating something like that daily, or at least 3 or 4 times a week, is amazing for your health. So no,
that sounds fantastic. Of all the sort of different whatever you call ginger itself, but the flavors, ginger and peppermint are my two go-tos. I love them. So great for gut health, I believe.
Ginger is actually, it's a calmative. It's antispasmodic, meaning like when we get a lot of cramps or pains, or it just calms. So, calmative, not in the sense of like a nervine where someone's stressed, but calm to the gut. So
it's interesting. And the more like I've always liked ginger and peppermint all my life, but the more that I have learned about their like herbal properties and how they help us, the more I wonder whether I actually really like them because I've always needed them. So it's interesting. But yes, I'm currently drinking peppermint tea.
No, herbs are great, and then
away from the coffee. So
well, that's a different topic as well. So
more water.
That's good. More water, absolutely. And it's hard for us sometimes to drink more water. I'm not the best myself. Sometimes I'll get right in there, and then winter I'm like, I don't want to drink water, I feel cold. But more water, more herbal teas, rooibos tea. Those are big ones. And so then switching to what we want to avoid right now is that and this is where I get a lot of Shona, you're a killjoy. But we're going to talk about it anyway, because if we think about health and we want to age well, or we want skin to be good, or the things we want to avoid are caffeine, alcohol, processed foods, and we don't want lots of sugary foods. So if I break it down, so caffeine, one of the big things with caffeine that people don't realize is that it takes calcium from your bones. So as women, if we're talking about Venus group, and there's lots of women watching this, so as you go through menopause, we're losing calcium anyway. So if we're drinking lots of coffee, or even one a day, we're taking calcium from our bones. and that's not a great thing. The
I
other
really
thing is that,
listen to that, Shona, and I'm down to one a day, but with my bone health, I really probably do need to suck it up and remove all caffeine.
That's right. Yeah, I think when we fine tune our health, we soon get to our own place of like, this is what I want, or I'm happy with this. But we have to acknowledge what it can be doing, and then realize that if there's problems with our health, that might be the very last thing that we go, I've got to take that one out as well.
Yeah.
But on that note, though, with what I remember, as an alternative to caffeine, there's a great company called Ticino.com. .co.nz, and I've actually got a little sample here. So Ticino, that's the brand. Yeah, and so they this is an overseas brand, but there's a New Zealand family who have taken on stocking and selling them in New Zealand, and so the base of those are chicory and dandelion, which are amazing herbs for digestive and liver health, but in them they have a range of flavors that you can choose from. So on their website you can have you can, for $20 I think it is, you can, or $10, actually $10, I just did it the other day, $10 you can get about 9 different little samples that they'll have, and get them sent home and trial them and see which ones you like, and then you can go back to the website and either choose tea bags, or as a grind.
Like a
plunger. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
and
so
that kind of thing.
Plunger, nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what the other form is. So they're excellent. So recently I just had someone who said that she tried that when I was saying, hey, let's try some time without caffeine. And she mentioned that, the longer you leave it, also gives that more caffeine rich flavor. Okay. So it's just finding the one that you like, and having the samples is a great way of I'll trial them all out. But they do have some really nice stuff. So for me, it's just drinking a herbal drink. But for, like, my husband loves caffeine, so he can't have it. So when we found this, it's like, this is a great alternative. Yeah. So it's good to have those ones. Yeah. But yeah,
I'll grab the link for their website off you as well, and we'll put that down in the comments so that people can go and have a look as well.
Yeah.
Whether they're at the moment or not, that's
that's right.
We can work through that.
after 4 weeks, there might be a great rush. So I'm always hoping, but I do recommend them. They're great. But so the other things with caffeine, just to realize, is that when you have caffeine, that it stops you absorbing nutrients through your gut. So you can be taking lots of supplements or eating the right kinds of foods, but if you're a bit of a caffeine and addict, and again, like I say, for some people it's only just one a day, and I've seen dramatic changes with people when they've just taken out their one, on how their health feels. Some people, they do have more. So it's never about how many, it's about whether or not their genetic breakdown says, caffeine's not good for you. For some people in the world it is, and I've seen that too with clients, but there are some people that more than likely it's not. So they don't absorb nutrients. At this time, when you're talking about mood and things like that, caffeine's a massive hit for anxiety. And for adrenal health, so meaning your adrenals are your energy. So every time you have caffeine, your adrenals get hit, and that's putting your nervous system into a state where you feel like you're being chased by a bear. So we're not being chased by a bear every day, and we shouldn't allow our body to be in that state. We want to be in a calm state. So if that's every time we get the caffeine hit, and this can be dark chocolate as well. This is where I'm guilty of it as well. So sometimes you just get that hit. And so if you're prone to like more nervous system, mental health issues, caffeine is really not your friend. And it should be the very first thing that comes out, because you'll feel a lot calmer without it. And then it hits the sleep. It affects sleep as well. So even if you're having caffeine in the first part of the day, for some people who have sleep problems, and there can be a whole range of things that are related to why someone might have sleep problem. But if we're going to do a process of elimination, try caffeine as one of the ones that could be causing problems as well. And then the other things are, it can raise your blood pressure, and it can raise your cholesterol as well. So often when I see people too who kind of go, I just can't seem to get my cholesterol changed. I do this, I exercise that, I don't eat those kind of foods. But see, again, caffeine for the certain kind of person, their genetic breakdown could be like, that's what the big hit is, and that could be the one that's the problem. So it's through I think what I suggest to people is, like, if you got this time or in the future, you kind of just do a big test and see what works for your body, and be true to yourself about it, because I know that caffeine is one of those things that is a lovely social thing to do. But if it's your health long term, I know what I'd want to do. I'd probably go, I think it's more important to find that alternative and correct this now, not let it become a bigger issue.
So Shona, does tea, like just, you know, standard gumbo Dilmah tea or whatever you drink, is that the same as having coffee? So
absolutely, it's not as hard, it's not as a bigger hit, but again, if a person is very susceptible to the impact of caffeine, it will, just like when I was saying about chocolate, you know, dark chocolate, any kind of chocolate, it's all got caffeine in it. You got the energy drinks, you got to look for where caffeine's hidden, and really kind of trial at getting things out to see how a person's body works. So good old tea. Absolutely.
We've got a person, significant other in my house that has blood pressure and cholesterol issues. And my bones definitely need as much calcium as I can retain in them. So maybe we might have a conversation later on today about how about for the remainder of this time we switch out our morning coffee. We do only have one a day now. There was a time in my life where I was drinking maybe 5 black coffee a day. So now I know what I know. I would take myself back 5 and 10 years and say to that 5 and 10 year younger Hazel that what you're doing now is damaging your health. You will pay for this.
Yes, that's right. And that's a really wise word, say. If only hindsight's such an amazing thing, and it's really hard to teach younger clients that I see, but some, which is great, really get on board with that, because you know, we and this is not against beauty and anything like that, because outside there's so many things that we need help with to help us age well, but inside is massive. And if we kind of go, we're only going to top up with external things to make us feel beautiful and age well, we're missing the mark if we're going, well, here's the cup of tea, but here's some lovely, you know, on the other side that will make me feel beautiful that way as well. So, because I mean, the other thing with caffeine is it dehydrates you. For every cup of coffee or tea, you need 2 glasses of water to counteract that dehydration. It's hurting your kidneys. It's hurting in that whole process. So it's a long-term game. It's never about just today. So if you've been drinking, a lot of the questions I ask people is about, how long have you been drinking? It's never about just what happened last week. It's like, have you been drinking caffeine at this level for how long? Have you been drinking alcohol at this level for how long? And then we go, well, that's the picture I'm looking for, because that's why more than likely your health could be at this place right now. So,
no, wise words indeed there, Shona.
So then on the other, like talking about things to avoid, so again with alcohol, so I don't have I'm not going to go into a big rant about that one. Everyone likes, you know, some alcohol and things, but when it comes to immune health right now, alcohol is very immune compromising, so it really just weakens the state of the immune system quite quickly. Talking about processed foods or sugar, so when I say how much sugar to a person they have, they often go, well, I don't have sugar in my tea. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking like if you World Health Organization says that an adult should only have 25 grams of sugar per day. So Special K, I think per serving is about 7 grams. So you're really adding it up quite quickly, and you haven't even finished breakfast. So that is when I talk about sugar, we're talking about sugar, and look at things in your cupboards that you can look on the side of the package and go, how much sugar am I actually consuming in a day? Like I looked at this recently, ginger beer. I think it has about 12 grams in one glass bottle of, so for those who like, you know, fizzy drinks, there's your sugar. And so we're pre-diabetics, diabetics before we know it. All lifestyle stuff. But the bigger thing with that, again, back to what we're talking about with health, is that sugar, again, compromises the immune system. So if you imagine when we get sick, our cells in our body have a receptor, and if we take vitamin C because we're not feeling well, but yet in our comfort state we go, I'd like a little bit of chocolate because it makes me feel better.
Hot chocolate with that
which, that's right, which we all do because that's our comfort thing. Oh, you know, it's something sweet. You probably find that there is something sweet that we like. That will take the place of going into a cell before vitamin C. They have the same receptor, and vitamin C gets to stay outside while sugar goes inside. And sugar will not make you well.
No.
Vitamin C will. So yeah, so it's understanding really what's going on in the body and going, I really need to get my head around how much sugar I'm having in a day, because one, my immune system's been compromised daily. So someone could say, I just never seem to get rid of this bug. It's like, well, what are you eating? Could you be eating more green things? Could you be eating more things that are more supportive and nutritious to your body? Or do you really just eat a lot of processed foods that are carbs, like white carbs? So again, when I say sugar, we're talking about anything that's made with white flour, white sugar. That's a processed food. Everything in the middle aisles of the supermarket generally will have high sugar in them.
Yeah.
And so it's educating and assessing what's in your cupboard to get your immune system a lot healthier. And sugar, again, messes with your brain. So it makes you really tired, robs you of all your energy, and it makes you really moody, especially women. Speaking of wrong, but history gone by. I know how I don't need my husband to tell me. I know that I can be, grumpy, and I can look at my diet and go, you need to take a little bit step back on what you've been consuming lately because your mood is not nice. So let's all be honest with ourselves.
Yes, we can be a little bit irritable at times, often it is. You take it back and look at actually what you're eating, and you go, well, there's good reason why I'm irritable. So one thing I've really noticed at the moment, I've only gone to the grocery store actually once since we have been officially stay-at-home level 4. My husband went yesterday, but there's still so many vegetables and fruit available. And actually, just because we're in a lockdown and have to stay at home, it doesn't mean we have to eat cans of spaghetti and bread. There's so many other options out there. There's still plenty of meat. There's still plenty of vegetables. It's like, actually we've got more time than we've ever had. So use that time to actually just eat as close to how it looks on the plant, or walking around in the garden, walking around in the field. We can eat as close to that as possible. Then there's not so much added sugar, and all of those sorts of things. So that's kind of the approach I take with our family's diet. It's a losing battle at times with, when you go to the grandparents for dinner, and there's always, apple crumble for dessert, plus ice cream, plus, all those things. You make those choices, and we don't have dessert in our house, but obviously it's a different story. But
there's times for treats, and then there's times of, like, in your own house, you kind of, that's the rule. That's like, you've just set that, you kind of go, what I'll bring back into my cupboard is most important, so that when I actually go to someone's house for dinner, or I go out for a restaurant, it's like, well, this is the treat. I think there's become a massive big blurred line, like every day's a treat. And then we wonder why we're not well, But if our cupboards are set right for day-to-day, Monday, Friday, we generally are getting on top of things and staying well. But if we haven't got that mindset or self-control, then that's another part of holistic health, of looking at, like, well, why do I eat? Why do I consume the things I do? And again, I'm guilty of things like that at different times. When stress comes in life, food will always be, often for people, the thing we go to. But there's always going to be stress. So does that mean there's always going to be crap in our cupboards? It shouldn't be. So we have to overcome that. We have to work through that one and figure that one out ourselves too. So, there was something you mentioned just recently I was going to say too. Anyway, you carry on. If it comes to me, I'll button.
Just button. We certainly.
Oh no, there it is. I got it. I remember. I hate this memory like a sieve. There must be a supplement for that. But when you're talking about vegetables, in the supermarket, absolutely. So maybe they're there because people think that because they're open and that people touch them all the time. But hey, we can wash stuff. It's what's on the inside of stuff that are great. And then the other aspect of when I was talking about juicing, a lot of people sit on that page with juicing and think that it's all fruit. And I'm not in any way saying that at all. And you will see that with watching that documentary. It's all about vegetable juices. Yes, you have some pineapple and apple, because when someone's never done a vegetable juice before, they'll go, whoa, this is too much. And so now, like from when I started over 10 years ago at doing vegetable juices, there was a lot more fruit in mine to get that taste buds changing. But now, you know, you could pretty much give me a hardcore vegetable juice and I might not go, oh, that's lovely, but I could get it down, you know. And so it's always about vegetables.
I struggle with the cucumber, celery, kale, all of spinach, all that kind of stuff. There needs to be something else in there. I'm quite I enjoy, you know, of a vegetable juice, I'll enjoy something that's got carrot and beetroot and a lot of ginger in it. But generally there's an apple in there or a kiwi fruit or something like that as well, just to bring that sort of sweeter taste to the palate, I suppose. So and on that note with beetroot, beetroot is a great one for bringing down blood pressure. A lot of people don't realize that. So a beetroot juice would bring down blood pressure quite regularly if someone consumed that quite regularly, until they got to the place where they were, you know, in a better place. It's more stable. So it's so many health benefits when we, I mean, yes, to munch on them. I'm absolutely not against, like I have a whole plate and will munch on vegetables, definitely. That's what I'm saying about raw foods. But the thing with having a vegetable juice is that there's nothing inhibiting it from going straight down through the digestive system into the walls and straight to your cells. And that's where, like, if we're feeling unwell and you have vegetable juice, it's kick-ass. It just gets you well really fast, because there's nothing, it's not like a big piece of meat, you know, or something that's dead food before you've even started to consume it. You know, it's a live food and it's going to nourish you in all levels. So there's a place for both, like the smoothies, the eating a plate full of food to get that chewing going, which is enzymes in your body that you need, and then also drinking something. So no, I have never been a juicer in our house, but I have a mixer that I got, and it came with, I don't know how many attachments that I've never ever used. It's like, you know what, now is the time to work out which one of those attachments is actually the juicer attachment. We've got carrots and we've got beetroot in the garden, so you know, there's actually nothing stopping me getting into that. So I must do that. It's going to go on my to-do list as opposed to the to-do list.
And I could give you a little snippet too, that after I say this, it could very well be the last time I ever see one. But I often tell my clients that if they go to the Lions Club on Saturday morning, and this is here in Cambridge, I am always on the lookout for the Breville juices. And so many people give away their Breville juices, and I will run in there and take them, because they're only $10 and they cost $180. And as soon as someone says, oh yeah, I'd like to do juicing, but I don't have one, I go, well, you can have this one for $10 because I got it. So everyone might be going in now, I don't know, but if Briscoe's has a major sale, then Breville is a great brand if you're starting out with juicing. There are some really big expensive juices, but I just have a Breville one. I've had mine for, you know, I don't know, 12, 13 years now, and there's lots of smarter ones I could have, but it does the job. So
great. I will look into that, and when we can go down to the markets again, I'll keep my eyes open for a Breville.
That's right. Any second-hand store, really, it comes down to, actually, if ever you see a juicer in a second-hand store, it's worth picking up, especially if it's
I guess people buy them because they go, right, I'm doing a juicing fad, and then they have vegetable juices and go, oh, I stand them, I'm just like going to lose my lunch. And so then they get stuck in the cupboard, and then they have a clean out, and they're like, oh, we've never used it, and they give it away. And the idea is to, when you get a juicer home, is to keep it on your bench. If it goes in the cupboard, it will happen. So I know obviously a lot of people don't have the same bench space. My kitchen's not huge, but I've always made in my mind that my NutriBullet and my juicer stay on my bench. They never get put away. And so there's always a smoothie of some sort in the morning, and juicer, yes, like I say, can come and go a little bit, but I will always have it there, and that's the first place of port of call I'll go when I know I need to get my health better. That's a bit more often. That's really good advice. Really good advice indeed. Put the toaster
tuck it away.
Put the toaster
away.
And the coffee machine.
Our toasters away. All the things that are processed and carbs making away, and keep the juicer on the bench.
That's a really
Change
good
those taste buds.
really, really good tip, Shona. Really
Yeah.
good tip. Now, we were at a Venus meeting just recently, and you gave us some top tips just about looking after ourselves at this time and making sure we get some good vitamin D and getting out in that sunshine. So do you want to just share that bit of nugget of knowledge with everybody that's listening as well?
Absolutely. So I've got some extra little notes here just to make it a little bit more factual, I guess, but to give a bit more rundown of what vitamin D does for us. Okay, so vitamin D, it's a steroid hormone and it's fat soluble. So it means that when you eat it, when you consume it, you need to have it with fat, like with food. So it's always a good morning or lunch supplement to take, not in the evening, because it actually messes with melatonin, which is our sleep hormone. So before that, best form of sunshine is just being outside, and obviously not getting burnt. But I don't think we tend to go outside and we tend to cover up. We cover up our arms, we put the sunglasses on, we cover up everything, and there are all our places where the vitamin D needs to get in and to give us good levels. So it comes through the radiation from the sun, so it's really important. Then, so other facts about it. So a lot of us are actually low in it, surprisingly enough, especially in the UK. You would think that in New Zealand, like, we've had amazing summer, so I'd say that for the majority of us, if we've been outside, we've got good intakes of summer, and we're very blessed right now to have weather we have going into the shutdown period. And that is one of the things that I think is a big key player of the Northern Hemisphere being hit so hard, because they're in the middle of winter. And so their immune systems are at their lowest points, which would be ours if it was the middle of the winter for us. So while we have sunny days, get outside, because it's really, really good for your it's really good for your mood health. So anyone who has mental health issues, you need sunshine, and you might very well be deficient in it. And so just being and sitting out, it will help mood amazingly. People who have milk allergies or lactose intolerant, or people who are vegans or vegetarian, are often low in vitamin D, because you need calcium as part of the process with absorbing vitamin D. D2, which you get from the doctor, is nowhere near as efficient for absorbing as vitamin D3 that you get in a supplement. So so those things to remember, those ones. Big ones also, that people who are on medications like cholesterol, blood pressure, diabetic, antidepressants, they all deplete vitamin D in your body. So if you think about the amount of people who are on lots of medications, they're automatically in that place of vitamin D deficiency, or getting close to. So again, get outside, get that sunshine. So here's some of the things that is really great for supporting your health. Okay, so vitamin D reduces your muscle pain and aids in healthy bones. So any kind of mild to severe deficiencies can be linked to muscle weakness, bone pain, softening of the bones, fibromyalgia, and chronic fatigue syndrome. Vitamin D increases your sleep. So if you have low levels, you might not be having long duration of sleep. It reduces respiratory infections, so if you have enough. Otherwise, if you're deficient, there's things like middle ear infections, or you're more susceptible to cold and flu symptoms. It reduces the risk of autoimmune disorders. So even the one that came to mind was Hashimoto's, which is hypothyroid. So a lot of women have thyroid issues, and more likely the hypo, meaning everything's underactive. So vitamin D is one of the big players in correcting that. Again, it's about mood, helps mood. So we talked about that one. It's great for inflammation and heart disease. So it helps against reducing the inflammation and the plaque formation in our arteries. It helps to regulate the immune system. So we talked a little bit about that, but and then it also reduces your or supports good fertility. It's a big one. So with women's health is what I do. It's great for that. So that's vitamin D. So
from the sound of that list and all the things that it does, we should be making sure we get tea.
Not getting burnt, not lathering up too much, just going out and being safe with it, but getting it. Definitely.
And can you get too much? Can you have too much vitamin D in your body?
I think actually, to be honest, I don't know the answer to that one. I imagine like being too much being burnt. Yeah. But yeah, I know whether there are various vitamins and minerals you can excrete stuff. But yeah. I do believe you, well, actually, I do know the answer in that sense that when you take a dose of vitamin D, like in the supplements, you'd only want 1,000 to 2,000 IU a day. You can break that down sometimes people to their body weight and size on what they consume. There is not, but then in saying that, there are studies that show that people are okay on higher levels. But that would be something to be investigated. But if you're an average person like you and me, you kind of go, just want to keep my vitamin D levels high, 1,000 IU or 2,000 at its most is really good. So, yeah,
cool. That's really, really great tip. And you know what, the vitamin D that comes from the sunshine's free, so we can.
That's right. Absolutely.
It's really easy at this time of the year. You know, the sun's not quite so intense, but you know, just getting out there, you know, and not in the heat of the day, but you know, either side, and spending some time in the. There's nothing better than, for me, being in the garden from sort of 3 o'clock in the afternoon, enjoying that late afternoon sun. One of my favorite times of the day, actually, out in the garden. So
I agree. I'm the same. Yeah, I love being out there. So yeah, I'm not a sun worshipper in the middle of the day on the beach or anything like that, but go for a morning walk or just get out, like you say, in the later part of the day. It makes my mood feel so much better.
I
obviously contributing to immune health, so that's good too. So
no, that's fantastic. That's excellent. Thank you so much. Like, I think we might just wrap it up now. There's a few we will put your details, Shona, down in the comments section so people can connect with you directly through your Facebook page. So if you know, they can read some of your blogs there, and I'm sure some of the things that we've talked about today will be resonating with people, and if they want to dive deep on that stuff, then they can obviously contact you directly. So that's fantastic. We will I will get the link off you, and we'll put up the link to Jason Bale's documentary, because that sounds fascinating. I'm sure many will want to watch that. And also I'll grab the link for those alternatives to coffee, because I certainly explore those, and we'll put those up as well for people, so that they can just have a look at that information and make those choices themselves. So yes.
And on that note too, just to butt in there, that some of the samples they send are not always the greatest of the flavors. Sometimes it's just what you get sent. So if you see, I know that, like, there's one that I think that's called caramelized almond. So there's some that you don't get sent, but what they've got in range, there are some really yummy ones. So it might just mean that someone orders the whole thing rather than get a sample, but it'd be great for them. So
no, that sounds fantastic. Sounds really, really good. We'll definitely look into those for us. And I've certainly taken a few nuggets away that I'm going to go and maybe look at instigating into our day, and maybe switching out that caffeine hit that I get every morning, and replacing it with just a peppermint tea for beginning, and look at how to use my juicer, should one of those many devices fit my machine. And actually,
that's right.
So, yes, I'm going to look into those sorts of things. But thank you so much for your time, Shona. It's been absolutely delightful to have this conversation with you and share your abundance of knowledge. I know we've probably got only like 1% of all of the wonderful things that you know and that you share with your clients, but I have really, really appreciated your time today. So I'm going to sign off now. Thank you so much. And and make sure you jump in and look at all the links below in the comments, and explore those things that Shona and I have chatted about today. So thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you again next time.